In this lesson, you'll have the document that goes over the parts of an IEP, the process in developing it, and who is on the IEP team. Let me give you a brief overview. For example, the IEP needs to identify what the student's disability is. It needs to explain what their present level is. Where are they functioning right now? Are they reading at a third grade level? Then it needs to identify their strengths, what they do well. It needs to have a clearly defined goal that can be measured. And it needs to report progress towards that goal. And you should be receiving some kind of a report on how your child is doing and progressing towards that goal. And also the support personnel who will be helping your child with that goal. It could be his math teacher or a speech therapist. Or they may even ask you to follow up with assignments at home. But who is involved in providing? It needs to outline any services that are being provided. And it needs to talk about their placement. A big issue here is inclusion. IDEA is written to allow all students to be included to the maximum extent possible according to their disability. This came as a reaction to a time when students who were confined to a wheelchair were denied education because the school didn't have ramps or elevators. That you can understand how sad that is. So the law states that as much as possible, they're to be educated with their non-disabled peers. And that's the ideal. It may not always work that way. You may find that your child really does better in a setting with fewer students. I spent 8 years working at a residential treatment facility for youth at risk. And for them, that was the best setting. But consider this. The more your child can interact with non-disabled peers, the better prepared they will be for adulthood, for mixing in with the rest of society. So as you're reviewing in this IEP to what extent your child will be included in the regular curriculum, consider, can they at least be in the regular PE class? Can they, if it's determined that there are some classes that they need to be in a special ed classroom for, again, the more you can get them in with their non-disabled peers and where they're behaving appropriately and flourishing and feeling comfortable, the better it is for them. I've seen some cases where a student started out in more of a self-contained setting, but then gradually moved to a greater inclusive setting. Keep in mind that long-term goal of life after high school